Jordy, good morning to you. Welcome. This is TMI Socials. It's now time to talk what's trending on social media. I am Anwoluwapo Stevens. I better still call me a social media butterfly. Now this morning we get to begin with a cherry news as the federal government has commenced the payment of the 77,000 naira new monthly allowance to the members of the National Youth Service Corps. Now this follows the promise made by the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, that the new monthly allowance will be implemented starting March 2025. The Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, assured that the backlog of the new monthly allowance will also be paid. Now, as of yesterday afternoon, a lot of co-members started receiving their 77,000 naira. That's like 77K, yes. New alawi, and it got a lot of them all excited. In fact, right now, social media is buzzing with different, beautiful, amazing videos. Let's move over to tweets and look at how some co-members reacted to this interesting, beautiful, amazing story. This user says they are deploying the 70K to shift your focus away from critical matters, and you will see Nigerians stretch that 77K into days of content creation before we all slip back to square one. Since they are well aware the folks they govern are a bunch of jokers, really. Tell me about it. But another user says, at least something new has happened. Well done, Nigerian youth. We continue the hashtag 30 Days Rant Challenge. Moving over to other reaction on the story. Olayinka says, Tinubu is working now. Oh, I don't want to hear any complaint again. No, really? Tell me about it. And finally on the story, Dr. Penking on X says, this is commendable. Next, there should be a massive renovation of all NYSC camps nationwide. Most camps look more like a prison than an orientation camp for the future leaders of Nigeria. For example, Ise Oru Emure Ekiti. We can't continue like this. Now, still an interesting, beautiful news to let you know that in a viral video, Senator Nwaebonyi says Senator Natasha's present husband married her under duress after she blackmailed him. Now, of course, this got a lot of social media users talking. Take a listen to him.
Which other persons is she accused of such harassment?
Accused of mockery of harassment during the time of Goodluck Jonathan as president, when the young man was already in U.S. attending to national issue. But of unlucky to her, she didn't know that this young man was outside the country. Upon the slightest provocation, she will come up with allegation of harassment. And I don't know what is wrong with this lady. Does she think that she's the most beautiful woman on earth? Or is it because she's had chocolate color? In my own assessment, she's not among the beautiful women in Nigeria. And it is high time we come hard on her. And why people like us are speaking on top of our voice is not just to protect and defend the Senate president, but to protect and defend her future victims. Even her present husband, she married her out of something like this. She threatened to sue the man. I have a letter circulating over the world that the man should pay her 10 billion or marry her. The man had to marry her under duress. So the marriage was under duress, another product of black.
Now, shout out to Senator Natasha. She has been trending from the beginning of March up until the end of March. I don't know how she does it, but it's interesting to see a lot of interesting comments on her particular case. Moving over to how you responded to this man's interesting revelation, I must say. This user says, you guys have nothing against her. Her marital status is none of anyone's concern. Moving over to other Warren, just Warren from Chichi says, does she think she is one of the most beautiful women on earth? Words of an abuser. Another user wrote, but did she accuse Reno of same-sexual harassment? Did she threaten her current husband with a lawsuit if he didn't marry her? Before you insult the man, you should confirm if what he is saying is true. Oh yeah, you can come for me. Now, speaking about coming for me, as we tend to move over to another interesting story that got social media bubbling and excited. The federal government has announced Monday, 31st of March 2025 and Tuesday, April 1st, 2025 as public holidays for the celebration of Eid-el-Fitr. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, made the announcement on behalf of the government. In a statement released yesterday, the ministry's permanent secretary, Ajani, said the minister congratulated Muslims on completing the Ramadan fast. Moving over to tweets, let's see what you were saying at the moment. Olayi Mather says, this is the fastest Ramadan ever. Tell me about it. Another user says something else. People working in Lagos would appreciate this more. If you know, you know. Tell me about it. Now, finally, on the story, this user wrote, this minister has been very active that I forgot his ministry was known for only public holidays in the past. That time, once you see Ruth Arabushola, now holiday will just come in your mind next. Alrighty, if you say so. We're still on Natasha, the suspended Senator Natasha Akpochi-Oduagha yesterday got a memo from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, saying its notification to her of the receipt of petition from voters in her constituency demanding her recall. Now, the same notification was sent by the electoral agency to the leadership of the Senate. The commission also unfolded plans to scrutinize the signatures of the petitioners to ascertain their authenticity. Now, remember, on Tuesday this week, the commission had picked holes in the petition, pointing out that it failed to meet the standard because the addresses, the phone numbers of the petitioners' representatives were not provided as required by law. And now all of a sudden, INEC is coming out to, call for the demand of her recall. Now, see how social media reacted to this particular story that is still trending online at the moment. Ayodele on X says, INEC just proved to us that it is actually possible to recall our lawmakers. How about putting aside all our differences and begin to recall underperformed lawmakers that will make them sit up? Over to you, Nigerians. Another user wrote, corruption has destroyed this country. In 24 hours, you've gotten details of 240,000 people. God save Nigeria. A lot of worry on X has that to say. Well, this user wrote, dear Nigerians, how about we play this game with them? Let's mobilize and recall other senators too. Sign signatures and submit everything required and recall them too. We have the crowd and we can recall almost all of them. Now, finally, this user, Jay, says, it is commendable that INEC is being transparent about this recall attempt. This is a sensitive issue that requires utmost transparency to handle effectively. Now, speaking about handling issues effectively, yesterday we saw on socials another viral video of a heated debate, or should I say argument, as a motion seeking to immortalize the late Professor Humphrey Nwosu on Wednesday sparked intense controversy in the Senate, leading to tense exchange among lawmakers before ultimately being rejected. Take a feel at how it all happened. How did you react to this? Let's take a look. Now, okay, let's start with this user who wrote on Instagram. This one says, how does this affect the citizens though? What are the benefits? Interesting questions, I must say. Another user says, the president must urgently declare a state of emergency. In the House of Senate, this group is seriously undermining the integrity of Nigeria and bringing immense embarrassment to the nation. What sort of administration is this? Finally, on the story, this user says, you can never see them fighting over issues that really concern Nigerians. It's always the irrelevant ones. Now, on the foreign scene, as we tend to wrap up TMI Socials this morning, in a video that has now gone viral, Donald Trump says, and I quote, no matter how many surgeries you have or chemicals you inject, if you are born with a male DNA, in every cell of your body, you can never become a woman. You are not going to be a woman. Take a listen.
No matter how many surgeries you have or chemicals you inject, if you're born with male DNA in every cell of your body, you can never become a woman. You're not going to be a woman. And that's why last month I proudly signed a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports, and it was very popular and very... No matter how
Moving
many...
over to tweets, let's see what social medias are saying regarding Donald Trump, especially on this one. This user wrote, now there are less videos of gays on the internet. Let's go back to the time where men were men. Absolutely. Well, another user on X says, Baba isn't smiling, no. Association of Bob Worldwide just left the group. Well, still in the story, as we tend to wrap up this morning, this user wrote, very simple and easy. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. Don't confuse us, I beg. An official G-Bank says, that's just the natural truth. God didn't make any mistake creating male and female. Of course.